Hey there, welcome to Bubini Creates. My name is Jeannie, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about why now. And when I say why now, what I mean by that is I've just recently purchased these two books from Johanna Basford, early books. Why didn't I buy them up until now, and why did I change my mind? And so I thought I think it's kind of interesting. Maybe it's interesting to you. So I thought I'd share my thoughts, and I hope I make sense. It's kind of confusing, but whenever I looked at these books previously, and I should also say I have all her other books except for Ivy and the Inky Butterfly as far as coloring books go, and I also don't have the drawing, 30 Days of Creativity and the inky how to draw inky wonderlands. They just didn't appeal to me. I like coloring books. I like to draw, but I like to draw, what I like to draw, I guess. um so that being said, I had always avoided these two books, and I've been coloring since when, 2017, maybe a little bit in 2016. Why didn't I buy these books? And the reason why is every time I'd go to look at these, like let's say in Barnes and Noble or something, I was just bothered by, just how tiny the images are. Not so much in this book, or the images, not how tiny the images are, but rather the little pieces of the images. And they're itty bitty details, and that always bothered me. And I don't shy away from something that's necessarily difficult. That's not exactly it. I just They just weren't my cup of tea, but especially this one. This one I really have trouble with. Let me get to a better example. Like, if you really look, those are itty bitty, you know? And there's some bigger ones, of course, and those are the ones, if anybody has anything colored in their books, for the most part, I feel like it's these larger images, because I think a lot of people have the same issue. Of course, not everybody, but I think a lot of people do. And for me, it just always reminded me of, look at how tiny that is. It always reminded me of those books that you would see in like the grocery store that always said something um, like de-stressing coloring book, anti-anxiety, calming. And in my head, I always thought that's like the very opposite of calming, because they're just so teeny tiny. You know what I mean? But in the same vein, I recognize her illustrations are gorgeous. So why couldn't I just give it a try? And until this week, I hadn't. And as you can see, this is my very first page. This one is in Lost Ocean, in one of these two books. And so that's kind of what I wanted to chat about. So I think after a lot of, I don't know, thinking about it, and I'm going to turn my page. I'm not one that's very good at coloring head on. Actually, let's move a little bit more here. But yeah, I after thinking about it and being bothered by it, and because I know that they're beautiful and a lot of people love them, I thought, why can't that be me too? Because at heart, I'm going to be a sort of a completist with my favorite illustrators. I want all their books, like I think most of us do, or a lot of us do. So I just really wanted to, at some point, tackle that problem within myself, I'm going to call it, because I don't think it's me. um, and go ahead and tackle the problem as I saw it, and go ahead and give it a try. So that's what I'm doing now. But the other thing that I found out, that maybe I do enjoy little teeny tiny things. I mean, I did the majority of this fish, and you know what? I actually had a really good time. So maybe I do like it. And the other thing I'll be honest about in coloring this is that it's been sort of I don't know, a tense week for me, and I wanted something relaxing. And I have to tell you, this has been that, and I guess I just didn't see that before, but I'm seeing it now. I'm appreciating that I can just sort of take my time with it, and although my eyesight's not as good as it used to be, um, I can just enjoy it for what it is, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I've been thinking a lot about my coloring journey recently, and I've come to realize that in a lot of ways, it was fun way back when. Sometimes I'll even say more fun because I was coloring, back in the day when I was first learning I was coloring with throwing caution to the wind, and I think I felt like it was just fun. There was no expectations, and I don't mean that there's expectations from others. I mean for myself, I didn't put pressure on myself. I just colored and I enjoyed it, and I finished pages. Most of my pages didn't have backgrounds, and if I did attempt a background, it was probably pretty messy. And I just kept at it and I got better, you know, and I enjoy using my supplies. I enjoy trying new things. I enjoy learning new things. But there's a part of me that misses that just innocent sort of playful something that I had when I didn't know anything, and I didn't plan out my pages, and I would just sit down with my pencils or markers or whatever it was, and I would just color for the sake of coloring. And I didn't put so much pressure on myself back then, and I really enjoyed myself, And so slowly slowly but surely, I feel like I'm almost sort of deconstructing and reconstructing my love of coloring, changing some of the rules that I put on myself, and just enjoying things more. So what I thought is, with these couple of books, I could just go in here and play. And I think what my intention is to just sort of keep it simple and color what my heart tells me to color when it does, and not worry about the perfect color palette, not worrying about, using all the fancy materials or whatever, just coloring for the love of coloring. And that's what I'm thinking about on these books. So one of the things that I feel like I've kind of deconstructed my previous notions when it comes to coloring is that I have to only work on one page at a time. And you've heard me talk about that before. And I credit Maya, Colored by Maya, for kind of changing my approach to coloring in that regard. In that I feel a lot freer and I'm enjoying my coloring a lot more, knowing that if I want to pick up a book and I just want to color a couple flowers, or if I don't have a full plan going on, or something like that, it's okay just to open up any old coloring book and color that element. It's really going to be okay. And it's taken a little bit to convince myself of that, because I'm that personality that likes, to start something and to finish something. And you can see even on this, here I go, I'm, well on my way to finishing a page. And that's fine too. It's just maybe listening to myself more and using coloring for what I need it to be. If I'm trying to improve a skill and I want to do a beautiful page, at least, as beautiful as I'm able to, go ahead and try that. But if I just need a minute and I want to de-stress, then that's okay too. And by the way, in saying that, I'm sorry that I'm just coloring, I've got my one pencil and I'm just coloring, the blue on the outside border. That's what I want to do right now. That's what I want to do. And um, I need a minute. I need just to, I don't know, enjoy coloring for the sake of enjoying coloring, and for calming me when I need it. And it's been that, and I'm really, really thankful. I always have been really thankful for this hobby. because of that, because it's just such a help in so many ways. I can solve problems while I'm coloring. I can be mindless while I'm coloring. It just doesn't matter. I can chat with friends when I'm coloring. It just is what it should be. I think whatever you need it to be at the moment. So I'm thinking with these books that that's what it's going to be. I noticed I've been looking through a lot of flip throughs of completed pages in these books, and realizing that because, especially Lost Ocean, because the images are so detailed and they have, little tiny bits to them, you probably are going to use fine liners a lot, gel pens a lot, that type of thing. And for me, fine liners and gel pens mostly are, the way I use them is more for like an accent type of thing. And I like the idea of being able to go in and use them more in the, these books. I think that's going to be something I can just chill with and sit down with my pile of goodies like this, and just sort of go to town and not overthink things. So that's it right there. Not overthink things, just color. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to keep these pages simple and stress free. If I want to use pencils like I'm doing here, I will, just whatever I'm feeling at the moment. If I want it just to be, if I want to not color the whole thing and leave it at a whip, I'm going to do that. I'm just not going to pressure myself, and just have the pleasure of enjoying these books. And so, but it's been something that's been weighing on me. I hope it's helpful for you. I just want to enjoy coloring. I want to keep it simple. I want to not put so much pressure on myself, and just remember what it was like. It was so freeing back in the day when, I didn't have to worry about my every pencil mark, And now I kind of do. I kind of second guess myself before I even start. I'll go to start a page, and I'll sit down with a book and, my pencils or whatever, and I'll get ready to start, and I'll pick out a page that I want to color, and then next thing you know, I'm finding a reason why I shouldn't color it. Like, oh, well, you really should, do the background first, and for that you really should be back in your office where you can be messy. Well, what if I don't want to do the background first? You know what I mean? That type of thing. I just want to lighten up on myself. That's what I want to do. I want to find the joy in coloring and not get buried in all the details and all the things that I tell myself that I should do or should want to do, and just enjoy the things that I have. The other thing I'm really finding out, um, usually like every month I put pressure on myself to color in like my hardback books, and in all fairness, those are my favorites, and there are certain ones that I'd like to finish. So I'll stick with that. That's fine. But this month when I made my mermaid plans video, and I decided just to sort of abandon everything else except for the few buddy colors that I had, I decided just to color mermaids, and I had so much fun going through my books and pulling out all those images and trying to figure out what I might want to color. In other words, options, not necessarily that I'm going to color them. But I had so much fun looking through my books, and I had so much fun not feeling like I was confined to these certain books, but that I could really break out of that. I could have a month or as many months as I wanted to enjoy just what I want to color and not what I think I should want to color. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's that's how I felt. I should want to, work harder and more often in these hardback books because they're kind of the staples, the classics, Hannah Carlzon, Maria Trolle. I love those, and they are my favorite authors. But you know what? I like other things too. And it was a great month for me to break out of my mold and just to see my collection in a new light and realize that I have these other books for a reason, not just to look pretty, but to actually enjoy. And it's okay for me to deviate from X, Y, and Z and, venture out into some of these other books. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to listen to what makes me, happy. And that's what makes me happy right now is just to enjoy things and let go of my own expectations, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm at. I really hope to just enjoy these books as I want to. And guess what? I'm really having fun with these. I really am. Who knew? Who knew I would like little teeny tiny details? And I guess, it's maybe why we have so many different coloring books because I feel like each book maybe fills a different need, a different mood. And this is a new need for me right now. And I'm feeling it and I'm enjoying it. And I just want to encourage you to do the same. Give yourself some grace, give yourself some freedom, and don't put so much pressure on yourself. Don't put so many rules on yourself. Just enjoy whatever it is that you like to color and how you like to color. Do that. It's like that saying, what is it? Do what you love to do and then do more of that. And that's what I'm trying to do. So we'll turn this around. So that's where we're at. Maybe you'll see this book more often. So thanks for joining me on this video and letting me, speak my mind and get my thoughts in order for myself, really. And enjoy your coloring. Happy coloring to you. And I'll see you very soon, hopefully, on my next video. Take care. Bye now.